All right, so move on to the next segment. I'll be sharing my top five players list of NBA players that failed to win an NBA title. So these are the best five players I could think of, all-time greats that have never had the chance to call themselves NBA champions. So starting off with player number one would be Charles Barkley. Now, it is very unfortunate that Charles Barkley, one of the greatest power forwards of all time, never got to call himself an NBA champion throughout his Hall of Fame career. Now, when you look at Charles Barkley, he was an undersized 6'6" power forward that would attack the paint and dominate in the paint, and was an effective scorer in the most physical era in NBA history in the late 80s, early 90s, the prime years of Charles Barkley. And he was effective rebounder as well for an undersized power forward being 6'6". But as I digress, Charles Barkley was a former MVP of the NBA, 11-time NBA All-Star, former Olympic gold medalist, part of that dream team in the 90s. It's just sad that he never won an NBA title. And the closest he ever got was playing in the finals in the early 90s against that Chicago Bulls team of Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen, and just ran into one of the greatest dynasties in sports history, unfortunately, at his one and only shot in the NBA Finals to win a ring. Charles Barkley never won a ring. I think he's one of the greatest players of all time to never win an NBA title. Number two on my list would be Karl Malone. Again, just like Charles Barkley, Karl Malone is one of the greatest power forwards of all time. He had 19-year NBA career of hard work and dedication, but could never win the big one and could never win the NBA Finals. It's very unfortunate because the work that him and John Stockton did together in Utah with the Jazz, they deserved to win an NBA title, but they just ran into a better Eastern Conference team in the Chicago Bulls in the late 90s. But the beautiful basketball that John Stockton, Karl Malone had, the beautiful pick-and-roll game, was just spectacular. But they just ended up falling short to the Chicago Bulls twice in the late 90s and the NBA Finals. I mean, Karl Malone was a two-time MVP, two-time Olympic gold medalist, four-time NBA All-Star, one of the greatest power forwards of all time, but just failed to win an NBA title. He deserves to be on my list as well. Number three would be John Stockton. Now, John Stockton, one of the greatest point guards of all time. Him and Karl Malone, like I just said, the pick and roll game was an absolute masterclass to watch on tape. I wasn't even born yet with their prime years, so at the tape I get to watch. But I wish I was there. I wish I was alive to watch what these two respective players could do in the prime of their careers. But John Stockton was a tremendous playmaker, one of the greatest guards of all time, great basketball IQ, great passer. 19 years in the NBA of hard work and dedication, two-time Olympic gold medalist, one of the greatest passers of all-time leading assist leader in the NBA and the history books. It's just unfortunate John Stockton's hard work and dedication never won him an NBA title. He has to make my list as well. And number four will be Allen Iverson. Now, Allen Iverson never had a superstar, a tag team partner to play alongside of him in his prime years, which is very unfortunate because I feel like if Allen Iverson was still the number one scoring option, he just had one superstar to play alongside of him, he would have won an NBA title with the 76ers, especially in his prime. But in his prime years with the 76ers, he averaged 26 points per game, 6 assists, 2 steals, in his first 10 seasons with the Philadelphia 76ers. He did get to an NBA Finals, but got derailed by a Lakers team that was led by Kobe Bryant and Shaq in the early 2000s. And Allen Iverson was an effective scorer, one of the greatest shooting guards of all time. He's in the conversation with the likes of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, and whoever you like to have next after that. But Allen Iverson was an effective scorer, efficient scorer, and could dictate a basketball game in a blink of an eye. It's just very unfortunate that AI never won an NBA title. He's fourth on my list. And last but not least, I would have to say Steve Nash would make the list as well. Steve Nash is one of the greatest point guards of all time. It's sad that Steve Nash never won a ring. And think about how many great teammates that Steve Nash got to play with in his illustrious Hall of Fame career. He got to play alongside Dirk in their prime days in Dallas together. It never worked out. They never won an NBA title. Then he went to Phoenix to play with the Phoenix Suns. Amari Stoudemire was his tag team partner in Phoenix, both in the prime of their careers. Never got it done. Then he went in the back end of his career, went to the Los Angeles Lakers to play with Kobe Bryant and Dwight Howard. They thought they formed a super team out there in LA. They couldn't win an NBA Finals together. So It's unfortunate that Steve Nash had the star power to help him get to an NBA final or to win an NBA finals, but it just never materialized. And Steve Nash, when you think about it, he's a 2-time MVP, 8-time NBA All-Star, one of the greatest playmaking point guards in NBA history. It's just sad that he never won a ring as an all-time passer as well. So those 5 players, I just wish one of them won an NBA title. But those are the 5 following players that are on my list for the greatest players of all time that could never win an NBA title.